The ʻkɪriːz, often pronounced as /kkriz/ in ancient Greek, were female death spirits in Greek mythology. These goddesses were the personifications of violent death, often drawn to bloody deaths on battlefields. While they were present during death and dying, it is important to note that they did not possess the power to kill. In Greek mythology, the ʻkɪriːz were often associated with the gruesome and violent aspects of death. They were known to be relentless and fearsome, appearing as dark and frightful figures. Their presence on the battlefield was often a terrifying sight for mortals, as they were drawn to the carnage and bloodshed that occurred during fierce battles. The ʻkɪriːz were believed to be daughters of Nyx, the goddess of the night, and Erebus, the god of darkness. This parentage reflected their dark and eerie nature, as they were closely associated with the somber aspects of the afterlife. While they were not directly responsible for causing death, they were drawn to the moment of passing, often lingering near those who were on the brink of death. It is important to note that the ʻkɪriːz were not the only death-related figures in Greek mythology. They were often grouped with other deities and spirits that were associated with the afterlife, such as the Fates and the Moirai. While the Fates controlled the destiny of mortals, the ʻkɪriːz were more focused on the violent and sudden aspects of death, often appearing in the midst of chaos and destruction. One of the most famous appearances of the ʻkɪriːz in Greek mythology is in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. In this tale, the ʻkɪriːz are described as swooping down to the battlefield to feast on the souls of fallen warriors. Their presence added an element of terror and despair to the already tragic scenes of death and destruction. Despite their fearsome reputation, the ʻkɪriːz were not all-powerful. While they were drawn to violent and bloody deaths, they did not have the ability to cause death themselves. Instead, they were more like scavengers, drawn to the aftermath of battles and other violent events. Their presence served as a reminder of the harsh and unforgiving nature of death, as well as the unpredictability of mortal existence. In some interpretations of Greek mythology, the ʻkɪriːz were also seen as the vengeful spirits of those who were wronged in life. They were believed to seek retribution for their untimely deaths, often haunting those who had caused them harm. This added another layer to their terrifying reputation, as they were not only associated with violent death, but also with the concept of justice and revenge. The ʻkɪriːz were often depicted as dark and frightening figures, with a menacing and foreboding presence. They were sometimes shown as skeletal women, with tattered clothing and wild, unkempt hair. Their eyes were said to gleam with a cold and merciless light, reflecting their relentless nature and their lack of empathy for the suffering of mortals.